Around 1 in 12 Hoosiers meet the criteria for substance use disorder. To put that statistic into perspective, there's a chance there is someone in your social circle that is struggling with addiction, even if it is a quiet struggle. It could be a friend, a family member, neighbor, or colleague. Addiction is a disease that affects a person's brain, restricting the individual's ability to control their use of illegal or legally prescribed drugs. Regardless of the ongoing cycle around 500,000 Hoosiers find themselves in, with support and treatment, there is hope for a better future. Speranza House sees that brighter future. Speranza House is a faith-based, nonprofit organization located in Greensburg, Indiana. Their mission is to provide a nurturing, sober, home-like environment for women struggling with addiction. My name is Kenzie Ogden, and today I'm joined by Brittany Stewart. She is one of the directors of the Speranza House. Brittany, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Kenzie.
So, as someone who has had relatives and friends that have struggled and that I've lost due to substance abuse, I really just want to start by thanking you and all the many hands that have helped contribute to the Speranza House, and just the impact you guys are having in the community and beyond is absolutely incredible. So, thank you guys so much for your dedication and your hard work.
Absolutely.
So, before we dive into things, Brittany, can you start by giving us a brief overview of the Speranza House, when it started, and why Greensburg?
So the need was in 2018, October of 2018, Speranza House opened its doors, but the need was that there wasn't any long-term recovery residence for women in Decatur County. So they opened their doors, and since opening our doors, up to date, we have served 117 women. So we are blessed to be doing this work and continuing to help women in Decatur County and surrounding counties.
That's an incredible number, and yes, these are women that are in Decatur County and in Greensburg, but the impact goes far beyond that, because you guys, I know we'll talk in a minute about the program. The program is kind of set up for them to ensure that they have success and comfortability going back into the workplace, and just knowing that they are turning their lives around essentially and being a light to others through their stories in the workplace or wherever that is, and being reunited with families or whatever that may be is really incredible. So before we go any further, there is a 9 to 12 month program, is that correct?
Yes. So Speranza is a 9 to 12 month program, or we require a 9 to 12 month commitment from the women that come into our program. That that is 6 months of residential, which is the first 5 phases, and 3 months of aftercare, which means essentially you don't have to live on site, but you come in and you meet with the aftercare coordinator once a week, just to kind of check to see how you're doing, make sure you're going to your meetings, checking in on triggers, and if there's anything we can help support you on, or if there's anything you need. So that's how the aftercare part of that goes.
And then before you get to aftercare, what does the 9 to 12 month program look like?
Okay, so we are 5 phases. The first phase is just kind of getting you acclimated. So we get you in here, get you signed up for a drug treatment evaluation, mental health evaluation. We get a lot of women that are coming out of incarceration, or prison, or homeless, that haven't been to the dentist or a doctor and who knows how long. So we like to get their health up to date, get them signed up with doctors and dentists and things like that, and the drug treatment evaluation to kind of get a plan going, for what their treatment plan looks like, and those are catered individually to their needs. And then once they move into phase 2, that's more, they're still not allowed to work, and they just, it's just getting them acclimated and getting them into a routine of meetings and drug treatment and things like that. We also teach on-site classes here, of shame and guilt, self-esteem, self-compassion, intro to treatment, and smart recovery on Tuesdays. And we also do MRT, and the ladies just started a women's trauma class on Sundays as well, because a lot of women come in with childhood trauma or past trauma or things that happen in addiction, to kind of help work through those.
I think it's great that you guys kind of have that support for them because, well, yes, obviously the physical health and getting all of that for them is very important. But like you said, a lot of these women have dealt with trauma, traumatic events from their past or their childhood. So having like a friend and having people to talk to and just deal with those emotions, I think is such a key part of, the turning around their life and just getting through the weeds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a safe place. We're a safe place for them to feel those emotions, and we tell the ladies a lot that you don't have to act on those emotions. Like, you can be upset, you can be hurt, you can be angry, but you don't have to make any rash decisions. You can just sit and feel, because a lot of times in addiction, and this was myself included, when I was in addiction, is I was running from those emotions. I was trying to stuff those. I didn't want to feel anything. So we welcome the ladies to be. This is a safe place to feel those things, and we're here to support you and to love you until you can love yourself again.
That's great. And I know you mentioned some numbers earlier, but there is still quite a wait list, and you guys are opening a new house, which is very exciting.
Yes. So sometime in July, we are opening our second location. It's going to be called Speranza Broadway, and that is going to house an additional 15 women. Currently, we have 58 women on our wait list, so the need is great. And we felt God leading us last year to open a second location and just continue to serve the women, because this community has been a blessing to us, and we just want to continue to do what we can to fight the battle of addiction, and be there to support the women that are ready.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of research, and a lot of, like, you guys have stuff on your website about how a lot of addiction is kind of starts with people struggling kind of silently. And so having a place for them to feel seen and feel loved is very, very important. And I think is one of the most special parts about what you guys do. So knowing even that there's a wait list of 50 plus women just kind of goes to show that there's a lot more people than I think many realize. So knowing that there's going to be more resources for them to have here in Greensburg, I think is really, really incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing better than seeing these ladies come in broken, and we like to say that's how we like them to come in broken, because that way, um, we know that they're, because unfortunately you have to be broken so much, and you have to be to that point where you're ready to change, because unfortunately nobody can make us change, right?
Mm-hmm.
We we only do that when we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we've had enough of the dumpster fire life of living that way. So and just to see the light come back on in their eyes, and just to, like I said before, just to love them until they can love themselves.
Yeah, and I really like that you mentioned that you like them to come in broken because I always say like sometimes in life we feel like we're broken, we're lost, we're broken, but we're not redeemable. Like there's always
100%.
hope, and I think that's exactly what you guys are doing. So that's absolutely incredible. Are there any like what would you say has been some of the most impactful part that you've witnessed being involved in the Speranza House?
Just to see, the women that come in, and they don't have any hope, and they've have all these burned bridges with family, and they think they're never going to be able to have what most people consider a normal life and relationships, and to see those relationships mended, and to see them work through their trauma. And I think the best part is just for them to realize that they're worth it, and they're loved, and God loves them, and we just want to show them that they can be loved, and that they are worth it, and for them to heal those relationships with their kids, and just to see the things that they never thought they would have again, to see those things mended and healed, and brought back together. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. What does a day typically look like at the Speranza House? And I know that you mentioned earlier that there are different phases, so it may look a little bit different depending on the phase that the residents are in. But what does a day to day kind of look like for most of the women here?
So for most of the women, if they're not working, they wake up and they do devotions together first thing in the morning, and then have breakfast and um, work on their classes or workbooks. And some of them go to like IOP, or once they complete IOP, they do relapse prevention. Some of them go to those classes. Excuse me. Um, and then in the evening time, they usually do dinner together. Um, and then they either attend a self help meeting, either AA, NA, or CR, depending on the day. Um, and then they go to bed and they wake up and do the same thing the next day.
I really like the intentionality of, like, yes, they're getting a routine, but also they're getting to grow in relationships with one another. I think is really incredible.
Yeah.
So, as we kind of close here, for those wanting to help raise awareness for the cause, or volunteer or donate to the Speranza House, what are some ways that they can do that?
You can go to speranzahouse.org, and we have a donate button on there. But you can also reach out. You can also call the Speranza House here at Speranza Central location. It's 812-222-0079. I know we're always looking for, we get a lot of women that come out of, jail or prison with nothing. So we're always taking donations. And if you'd like to donate your time, I know the opportunity will be coming up in July to help do some finishing things on the Speranza Broadway location. So you can always reach out, and you can contact myself or Jeannie Wiseman, and we would be more than happy to use you if you feel led to. So.
Well, that's awesome. Once again, this is the Speranza House here in Greensburg, Indiana, and there are many ways that you can contribute, and there's a lot of resources available for them on their website or their Facebook page. Brittany, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Kenzie.
Yeah, and stay tuned for the Speranza Broadway coming to you very soon in July 2024.